My friends, here we are and welcome to Hippie Cooks. Today's video is all messed up. I wanted to show my creation of my burgers and I videotaped, I'm not kidding you, 5 or 6 minutes of it and the battery died and I lost it all and my burgers are already ready. So I'm going to explain what I did. I took a bowl, regular size bowl, a full pound of burger. I had the burger thawed out last night, kept it in the fridge all night, and half an hour, 45 minutes before I want to form the burgers, and this is morning time, I form the burgers in the morning, is I take it out so that it warms up. Very difficult with cold burger in your hands. Put the burger in here, 1 egg. I normally then use Italian style breadcrumbs and a whole bunch of spices. I like to spice it up. I like it to taste good, you know? Some people add raw onions. I do not. I'll cook the onions separately. You'll see that. Stay tuned. There's a whole bunch to happen. So what? We missed the forming of the burgers. But what's different today in the burgers is, not a sponsor, Miss Vicky's jalapeno chips. Instead of the breadcrumbs, I crunched these up really good and put them in the burger with the egg. I added a little onion and garlic salt and nothing more. I usually say that if you're going to spice a burger, you want to spice it like you would maybe an Italian meat sauce, not the way you would your steak, because you do not want salt in this burger. If you're going to cook it my way, if you were going to cook these right away on there, I would have added salt. I would have added quite a bit of salt. I like salt, but salt breaks down the meat and changes the texture, and that's okay with a steak, with pork chop, with chicken. But with burger, it's already broken down, and then you break it down, you end up with a mushy burger. So friends, don't salt till just before you're cooking or right after you finish cooking. Meanwhile, so I did that, and I used my hands. Now, careful when working the hamburger, because I use lean ground beef and the fat will melt in your hands, especially if you've warmed it up. So work the meat only until the chips or breadcrumbs, the egg, and the spices you've added have found their way through it. I don't add any other things like onions in that, as I said, not only just because onions need to be cooked properly, and I'll talk about that later, but also because it tends to make the burgers break apart. The egg holds it together, and my other methods. As you see, what I did, these burgers were about an even handful. By doing that, you get about a 1/4 pound. Of course, depending the size of your hands, if you have monstrous hands, you're going to get a 1/2 pound. But most people with average size hands will get about a 1/4 pound burger. So that's what these 4 are. These 2 got kind of bigger. Out of a whole pound with chips and everything else, I got 7 burgers. That's okay. Sometimes I only get 4. It depends. I'm going to make smaller burgers this time so that we can really taste it and have 2 burgers instead of 1 really big, juicy burger. Once I've formed the burgers, there's a couple things I want to do still, so I'm going to show you. Excuse the angle, but this is the best way to show you. I will take these and give them one last push, and then I'll give them just a little dent in the middle. That little dent in the middle will stop them from fattening too much in the middle when they cook. It's going to give it just a little more structure, and then take some wax paper, or I've got parchment paper, put it over top, and put your burger in the fridge for the rest of the day till you're ready to cook, because then they're going to stay together. They're going to be nice and cold. You don't need to freeze them. You could, but then your cooking is a little bit different. So take that in the fridge. Part 1 of making the burgers is done, preparation. Next, I'll bring you back and we'll start barbecuing. You'll learn some hints and what I do for making the extras to go along with it. Peace and cheers. See you in a bit. Hey there, hi there. Yeah, it's now 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We are starting. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and we're starting to put things together. I'm hoping that the storm that is outside right now is over by the time we need to barbecue those burgers. But there's things to prepare. What do you need? You need yourself a good non-stick skillet. And you're going to need some extra virgin olive oil. I have some here. Put about a tablespoon or 2 in there. And I always add a dollop of butter. And that's about, you know, a tablespoon worth. Yeah, I don't use a tablespoon. And you want to start heating up that oil about medium to medium high. And you want to get your handy cutting board. Friends, wood is our friend. Now, we try to get this new focus. There we go. Now we're going to cut up an onion. Friends, it's time to make the grilled onions. This is the thing I really enjoy. You need to make them half an hour before you're going to start cooking. Because all we do, we cook them for a half an hour. And over that half an hour, they caramelize into these beautiful things that when you then just put them on the paper towel to drain them a little bit, turn into these wonderful, crispy, salty, sweet things to add to your burger. So hang on a sec, be right there. Simply take a couple of onions, take off that extra peel. You just want the inside of this onion. If you're quick, I almost never break into tears. Normally I throw all that away. I'll throw it away off camera. Cut off your ends. Peel off the top 1 or 2 layers of it until you get to good onion. There we go. Cut those down the center because you don't want, I'm not cutting fine, I'm not chopping, I am just, don't move that out of the way. Just, the only problem I have with cutting onions is the mess I make because it doesn't stay together. See, I just dropped some on the floor. I need a better method. And if you get a big fat piece, sometimes I take that off because it's just not needed. Keep cutting, be careful, safety first. My last one's not going that well, but that's okay. We cut them all, and you can hear the bubble of the pan. So hang on a second again. And here we are, the butter is nice and hot. You do not want to get it too hot. I want to bring it up there so it slightly scalds the onions as it drops in there. Like to add a little bit of salt. And yes, my friends, add a little bit of sugar. And friends, turn the old temperature down to about 4 or just under medium, and we're going to cook this for 30 minutes. Stirring very often, not, every couple of minutes, just walk by, give it a little stir, and I'm going to show you a couple of times I'm going to show you a couple of clips of what it looks like every 5 minutes or so that I stir it, and we'll come back to it at the end, and then we'll make the burgers. Be right back. 5 minutes in, starting to be a little translucent, which they should. Be back. We are about 15 minutes in, and you can see that we're starting to get a little bit of color. And that's normal. It takes a while for the color to show up. It's okay while it's doing this to add just a little bit more butter. The butter helps caramelize it better. You just don't want your heat too high or you end up burning the butter. Be right back. We are almost near completion of this. They start to brown the most near the end. Do not worry if yours hasn't browned in the first 20 minutes or so. Every pan acts differently, but you have to be patient. 30 minutes. She's crisping up soon. Peace. The smell is absolutely beautiful, sweet, and yummy. Make sure you get all around the edges because these things crisp up nice on the edges. Stir it around. It's getting almost perfect. This is beautiful. 5 more minutes and normally I would start the other stuff right now, but one guy isn't home yet. I want to do it right, so we're going to do the burgers after the onions are done. Here we are. These are exactly as I want them to be, the onions, and we are now going to take them out of the frying pan and just get them onto that. Turn off your burner and grab your burgers. I just took them out of the fridge and we're going outside. The barbecue is preheated. I'm moving to the other camera because I don't know if you can hear it. I'm sure you can. It's raining again and this camera is not waterproof, so I'm going to go onto the phone and we'll be right back. As we said, here we go, my friends. We'll get there. Out the door. And the barbecue is preheated. And as long as I can get the door open fairly well, one-handed. Yeah, we're doing this fast, friends, because I'm getting a little wet. Barbecue preheated. And hang on. You saw a quick clip of me getting the barbecue ready. I'm going to have to speak about it mostly because it's raining and I don't want to ruin the meat. However, I took out the cold burgers. I put them on for 4 minutes. I'm going to flip them, cook them another 4 minutes. Then I'll flip them and I'm going to turn off the barbecue and put some cheese on them. And once the cheese is melted, I'll bring them in here and let them rest for 5 minutes. Meanwhile, we need to get some tomatoes cut. I'm just getting some of the dew off of it. It's gotten all because they're cold. I like the vegetables to be cold when we start. And we're going to cut these up and be right back once I go flip those burgers. Hang on a second.
cut this part with me talking.
We now have the grilled onions, the grilled burgers, we have our brioche buns, ketchup and mustard, salt and pepper. You saw what we got together. Simple burger and taste test coming right up. I'm tired, I'm hungry. Let's see how this is. Peace. Here we are, Pasha in the background. Say hi, Pasha. About to try his burger for the first time. There it is. Gonna put it together, have a bite, and then pitter patter, I'm getting at her and you're getting to the next video, I hope. Friends, here's the big taste. Yeah, there's Pasha tasting too. That is a really nice texture on the burger. Pasha's giving it the thumbs up. Slight bit of spiciness, but not what I was afraid it was going to burn my mouth. Because boy, oh boy, these chips burn the mouth. But it's a really nice flavor. Would I say do Vicky's chips again? I say yes. Pasha? Yeah? Okay. Cheers, friends. Bye. We're eating. We gotta go. Me oh my oh.